Small disclaimer. This is part 2 of a 2-part series. If you wish to see part 1, the video is in the description down below. Please enjoy the video. Number 3. Dude, I still think this should be higher.
And you're entitled to your very wrong opinion.
Who am I kidding? I'm just happy I get to talk about this one. This sequence is not only a fantastic piece of animation, but is by far my favorite part of the entire tournament. Made possible by 2 spectacularly talented individuals, Kenta Yakoya and the man who needs no introduction, Mr. Yuya Takahashi. Yuya Takahashi's impact on Dragon Ball Super's artwork has been almost as enormous as your mom. The sheer quality that this man can produce in such a short time is only one of many things that should tell you this man is a master of his craft. Before I get into explaining how the best Yuya Takahashi and Kenta Yakoya were here, I want to draw attention to this scene and this episode's strongest attribute, Megumi Ishitani's storyboard. If you think Takahashi is a prodigy, Ishitani graduated college in, get this, 2015. She's younger than me! She joined Dragon Ball Super in 2016 and in the span of less than 2 years, managed to convince those working in Toei that she was the woman who was to direct the last episode in one of the most popular series in the world coming out of Japan. That sort of stuff doesn't happen, ever. So, Megumi Ishitani, thank you for helping make this episode and scene as fantastic as it was. Regarding this entry scene, it is 1 minute 13 seconds long, with 1 minute provided by Takahashi. Not to discredit Yakoya's contribution, I absolutely loved it. Especially that side view tracking shot as Goku and Frieza run along the floor of the arena, complete with Frieza Naruto run. However, regarding Takahashi, while his animated contributions have been solid thus far in the series, nothing quite compares to this magnificent effort in the final episode. I would like to add perspective to this if I can. Working on the final episode of a tournament can be overwhelming. The pressure is there to not only finish strong, but with something memorable. And if anything was off, you know the world would let them know. But it's in this moment that Takahashi delivers his best work on the series, packing with snappy movements and cool effects. Alongside all that, it also is sprinkled with little subtle touches of brilliance. It's easy to get on my good side with wonderful expressions, but genuinely, this cut is filled with such a refreshing intensity, earning its spot as our number 3. Number 2.
Naoki Tate is a name that deserves endless amounts of praise for his contributions on the series, but having unfortunately had his name attached to episode 5 along with a naturally low detail and loose style, it's been very hard to convince people unfamiliar with his work that he's actually one of Toei's best. Well, I think this scene absolutely does him justice, with him animating Ultra Instinct's debut and frankly defining that form's movement as a whole. Opening with remarkably delicate footwork, Tate brings Goku snapping forwards into Jiren before executing a perfect rotation. There are lovely plumes of smoke as Jiren very literally snaps in front of Goku, who's already managed to dodge the attack. Hitting the ground, we get some interesting character acting as Goku examines his new form before Toppo and Dispo come zooming down the mountain and lunge at Goku. Grabbing them, Tate really sums up Ultra Instinct's movement by having Goku's arms relax for the twist before stiffening them instantly for one hell of a throw. This scene wraps up with effects porn heaven as Toppo's beam explodes in the background, and Tate animates one of the coolest, calmest, and most intense walks in the series. Effortlessly brushing aside a stray beam, this is animation at its purest form, characterizing an entire transformation without a single word being uttered. Thanks to one hell of a schedule, it took a while for Tate to be given the chance to prove himself again, but he really pulled it off, and this sits rightfully in spot number 2.
Number 1.
I don't think there was any doubt as to what would top this list, and that is for good reason. The absurd amount of effort on display here is nothing short of incredible from Toei's in-house staff with almost no outside help. It cannot be understated how utterly triumphant episode 130 was. Not only was it the most animated episode in all of Dragon Ball Super's archive, but it was by a wide margin the most well-animated episode Dragon Ball has ever seen through its various televised incarnations.
And looking at the staff list for this episode, it's easy to see why. From Tate to Minabe to Higashide to Naotoshi Shida, from top to bottom we have almost every major top-level action animator available to Toei working on this episode.
Tate kicks off the episode as Goku flashes past Jiren. Everything feels so fluid and smooth, which works wonderfully well with a form like Ultra Instinct, as we said earlier. His cut is full of personality, squash and stretch, dramatic zooms in, zooms out, as well as tiny details that just add to the whole experience. The best way to describe his work here is vibrant and energetic. It is an exceptional opening. Immediately following Tate, we are hit by Nikaido's work, and I say hit because wow, this exciting scene features incredibly well-timed back handsprings, trailed by sharp red blasts and various plumes of smoke. The effects work here is stellar, made even more evident when Jiren charges up a beam that looks as though it was pulled straight from a lava lamp. Very unique approach, however, the most impressive part of Nikaido's cut comes as he dashes towards the camera. As things get more heated between Goku and Jiren, Chu Young-seo dashes into the fray with a clash very reminiscent of Dragon Ball Z's usual action style. Couple that with Chu's exceptional effects work as well as some rare background animation, and that concludes the first half of the episode.
Dude, holy shit! That's just the first half? Okay, look, AJ, rest your voice. I'll take it from here. Without even a chance to catch our breath, Kenji Miyuma launches us yet again into more animation goodness by producing probably his strongest contribution to the series. That's not to say his other stuff hasn't been awesome, but generally they have been very effects-focused stuff. Now, again, that's not to say that this doesn't come packed with impressive effects work. Of course it does. But we get to see some character action too. Wonderful combat pieces, nice rotation, and again some background animation. Go Super, you're on a roll here. After that, we, the audience, are finally given a moment to catch our breath. But don't you dare think for a second that means the great animation stops. Hell no. Our man, Futoshi Higashide, makes his fourth and final appearance on this list, in an extremely effective and visually interesting cut as Goku and Jiren, colored blue and red respectively, battle over a nostalgic backdrop. It's an amazing stylistic choice and one that elevates the scene even further, if that were possible. He continues animating into the battle doing his awesome Higashide thing, providing wonderful unique effects and interesting impactful movements as Goku runs and flips around the arena dodging Jiren's blasts, ending finally in this twisting, twirling, flipping mega punch from Goku. Now, I know what you're thinking. We've peaked. There's no way that this could get any better, right? Enter Naotoshi Shida. Everyone seems to be delivering their A-game for this episode, and Shida is no different, delivering his strongest cut of animation for Super. It is packed to bursting with his astounding jaw-dropping character acting, effects work, smooth hand-to-hand combat, you name it, and it's there. Only about 47 seconds in length, this cut packs an incredible amount of detail into its runtime. Nearly every time you watch it, you can see something new. And that's a great way of describing this episode as a whole. It is jam-packed with so much detail, movement, expression, and effects. You can't help but miss a lot while watching. Even during this breakdown, we didn't cover everything. There's still Minabe and Miyuma's portions, as well as I'm sure others. This episode really is the gift that keeps on giving. It's easily the best animated episode that Dragon Ball Super has ever made, and it sits in a dominating fashion as our number one. They absolutely nailed it. And that's how you do a collab 100k milestone special and finish a series that I started back in the day. High five!
Yeah, okay, get out of my house.
Okay! Hey guys, special thanks to Anime Ajay for helping me with this video and providing all the information I went off of back in all the earlier days. His insight into Dragon Ball's animation is unrivaled by anyone on this platform, and he's just such a nice young man. So I highly suggest you have a look at his channel if you haven't already subscribed. I hear whisperings that he might be covering the entire series of Super with his animation analysis. As for me, this is a series I began back in the day before I really knew anything about animation. Since then, I have been to animation school and continued working hard on my channel. And I think it's very representative of how far both this video series and my channel have come since I began making those videos back in the day. It seemed almost poetic that I finished this series with the guy that pretty much made this possible. Both of us worked very hard on this, so I hope it lived up to your expectations. These last few weeks have been pretty insane. Thank you all so much for believing in my content and me. Thanks to you, I've achieved a goal I honestly never thought would be possible. You really do inspire me to work harder. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you all again for 100,000 subscribers. I'm going to be taking a small vacation, so there won't be any videos on the channel for another 2 weeks. But when I return, I have a very special video planned. Look forward to that, guys. But that'll do it for this week. I've been Totally Not Mark. Thank you so much for watching.